Patterson. We are at the 13th annual St. Louis Prototype Modelers Meet. I'm doing an outdoor photo shoot. We're going to talk about this table saw.
That's absolutely magnificent.
This is the best hobby in the world.
For What's Neat.
What's neat?
What's neat?
What's neat starts now.
Catch the What's Neat podcast every week and full episodes of What's Neat every month at the Model Railroad Hobbyist YouTube page.
It's good to have you on this side.
All right, you're in charge.
Good to be on this
Do your
side.
thing.
Here, if you want to win. So this position, when he says one, then you hit the start button and you put it down, okay?
Wow, I get to be on that What's Neat show?
You're that guy on that show.
Oh, my goodness.
Famous guy.
Wow.
You got a little tango.
Wow, wait a minute. I don't want to sit in this chair. I want to go look around. All right, guys, you're in charge. Austin, give us a countdown.
3, 2.
The What's Neat This Week video podcast is supported by enthusiastic model railroaders just like you.
These are anyway.
Further support is provided by Microengineering, keeping you on track with quality products for 55 years. Check out their website at www.microengineering.com. Order from your local dealer or order direct by calling 1-800-462-6975. Additional support is provided by Spring Creek Model Trains, your destination for model trains. Stop in and say, wow. Check out their website at springcreekmodeltrains.com. And by Intermountain Railway Company, where the detail makes the difference. Check out their website at intermountain-railway.com. Additional support is provided by Jelsma Graphix, America's leading distributor of quality railroad art and embroidered clothing since 1985. Check out their website at jelsma.com. Further support is provided by the NCE Corporation, the power of DCC. Visit their website at ncedcc.com. And thank you for supporting the What's Neat This Week podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ken Patterson's What's Neat This Week show. It's show number 278 for July 15th, 2024. I'm your host, Joshua Barton, your next, America's next favorite chef. Thank you, everybody. June, July, it all kind of blurs together. So we got a great panel here, and we're going to have a great show, I think. So to my left, instead of Mike tonight, we have Richard Bianca.
How you doing, everybody?
On this side of the camera. To my right, we have our fearless leader, Ken Patterson.
Hey.
And then from the St. Louis RPM meet, I have Lonnie Bathurst and Jeff Kuebler. And we're going to have a great show tonight. Ken, do you want to start talking with the Denny Jelsma stuff tonight, or what?
Well, Denny was in town, as you recall.
was.
He was with us, and it was great. We do have good sound.
We do.
That's a good thing.
It's a great thing.
Yes, say so.
Thanks, Scotty.
Hello. Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, we got great sound. Denny sent us some logos, and I wanted to start right away and talk about these because
Absolutely.
this is also something else that we were going to talk about. I'm working on the What's Neat show for July, which I will probably have wrapped up by Monday.
It was supposed to be out today, or to Joe today, and it's not.
That's okay, but I know people. I have contacts.
He does have contact.
It's going to be decent, but there's one thing that we're going to open that show and talk about, and that is something that the Pennsylvania Railroad had, and I've seen this in brass, and that's the S1 class duplex steam locomotive, which was a 6446, and I'm going to actually show some pictures out of this Stoffer book that I've got of the prototype because it was amazing. It spent its first 2 years touring the railroad, but it was their first. This is the locomotive that was streamlined, and it led up to the T1 locomotives that eventually did come out. which ran through St. Louis. They ran from Chicago.
Yeah.
And Denny's got 3 new logos on his website featuring this beautiful locomotive.
These are really neat too.
Right. Standard Railroad of the World, Pennsylvania Railroad. That's the first logo. Next one is the Pennsylvania Railroad, and this says it 6446, number 6100, and there was only one of this locomotive ever made. Beautiful in stitching. I mean, this would just be exquisite. Well, I've got a third one here to show. Same locomotive, again, on the back of a jacket or a t-shirt or something to that effect. He also sent us some other logos.
Yeah, the Milwaukee Road. We have 2 passenger cars. The Arrow Creek, which was the end car there.
Oh, yes,
And
the
then-
famous dome car.
Absolutely. And then we also have the Superdome.
Right.
And how cool would that be to be stacked on the back of a jacket? That would look
With
neat
some
together.
E-units on top of
Yes.
it. Yes. In yellow.
Yeah.
Ooh, how about an FP45? I wonder if he offers that.
I don't know.
Oh, no.
That'd be great to
I
call
know.
him and ask him because he takes your phone call. And
Right.
that's great. So also, we want to talk about different companies using Denny's logos and stuff. You can send your logo to Denny just like...
Steve Mantilla Electric,
absolutely.
Target Electric. Denny sold some of... Actually, Denny sold 2 clubs this week
And here-
where they're having all their club shirts made.
Here's one more logo that he's doing. It's the Northwoods Manufacturing Company, and that's very cool too.
Yes.
And so, get your company shirts made there.
You know, I skipped one of these. There's another one of this.
Serving the nation.
S1 locomotive.
Yeah, the Pennsylvania Railroad at the top.
So that's
there.
4 new images for this beautiful locomotive.
Yeah, very cool. Very
Now-
detailed.
Now, I will tell you on this show, I was told it was made public already, so you've heard about
Yes,
this engine.
we saw it on the
Broadway
web.
Limited has announced, and I'm announcing this on the July What's Neat show,
Here's
which
it.
I'm recording tomorrow.
That's right.
That this engine is going to be made in HO scale. And it's going to be their top of the line level of locomotive, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you some images of it right now.
So these are the hybrids.
Check these photos out. Just exquisite. This looks just like those passenger cars that we showed off, and these are, in fact, computer-generated photos. There is such a thing as a computer program now that the manufacturers have at their fingertips. I can't wait to learn about this. Not that I need it, because I don't. But they can actually take the quality of what you just saw. Here, look at it again. This looks like you're looking at a model.
It
Your
sure
choice
does.
of black plexiglass or white background. But and when we showed off those passenger cars last month, I think it was, I thought those were actually the photos. And then one person in readers' comments mentioned something that they were images, and I never really thought too much about it. And then I asked them, and
Yeah.
sure enough, they can take the computer-generated renderings that create the mold and create the model in the first place, and I guess they colorize it, texturize it,
Sure.
AI it, maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, wow! Wait till
Put a shadow underneath it, make it look more
Yeah.
three-dimensional.
maybe it's just in Photoshop, and I'm just naive. But I had to talk about that, so yeah.
Very cool. Go to Jelsma Graphix and check out your own shirts, your own hats. We have a couple hats here. Pretty exciting. I also want to talk about the Norfolk Southern. We have a couple pictures here. They pulled out a new paint scheme. It's the Grit, Heart, and Drive scheme. It's black with red. It's really neat. Yeah, check these pictures out. It says moving the weight of the world, and it's thank you to our railroaders, hashtag thank a railroader. So that's neat. I can't wait for some company to come out with that scheme so I can have it on my railroad. So we got Lonnie and Jeff here tonight.
Yeah, why
And-
are you guys here tonight?
Well, why do you think they're here?
We just
Because
love
they
to be
like
here.
us and they
Yes.
wanted to be on that
They-
What's Neat
Yep.
show?
They
Yep,
do. They
you bet.
do. So we're talking
Absolutely.
about the RPM St. Louis for this year, 2024.
Yeah,
I'm super
yes.
excited.
Coming up.
And we're a little over a month away.
And look at all the manufacturers that have decided to attend this show this year. They're putting their money in the Midwest.
They are. We're stuffed with manufacturers and vendors and exhibitors. Well, I don't think we can put anybody else in the building.
That's awesome.
that's
And
been
I
done
think
a
the
while.
first thing that we have to make clear is it's not the same weekend it has been in past years.
Thank you. It's
So
one
that-
weekend earlier.
Yes, so it's going to be what are the dates so I don't mess anybody up?
The 18th, 19th, and 20th.
So you
Wow,
may
we-
have to change your plans because that's a week earlier than usual. So
The hotels are selling fast. A lot of them are full.
okay,
You know, Collinsville is a nice community, a safe community. It's located just across the gateway, really. And so people stay there to go into the city for ball games and all those other events. So our hotels compete. You know, that same weekend, there's all kinds of vacationers
right.
going
We're not
on.
the only convention in town, too. I'm
Right,
sure. So
right.
there's a lot of stuff
Yeah,
going
of course,
on.
we do fill that building, so we're the only one there, but there's plenty of other things going on in the
Right,
hotels.
right.
And this year, on Thursday, we're sort of extending the show to say, normally on Thursday nights, people would come in to prepare for the meet, to set up that next morning, and people would meet for dinner and drinks and so forth on Thursday evening. This year, we're having 2 layouts for layout tours. So we
wow, that'll be
basically started
nice.
this
Yeah.
meet on a Thursday evening and have them again on Friday.
Right, and so in order to do this, to protect the owners of the layouts, we're not disclosing those layouts until you get to Bandanas or the Doubletree. You pick up your map there, starting at 6 o'clock that night. You can pick up your map, or 5 o'clock, I'm sorry. The layout tour goes from 6 until 10. We had a lot of people say, make this a 3-day event. I'm driving all the way to St. Louis. Let's
Sure.
have some more fun. And we decided, Thursday night's perfect for that. We'll open up those layouts, and that'll give us a jump start on the whole RPM that everybody can enjoy and partake in. And
Absolutely.
then, you don't pay a dime really for that. You don't pay for anything till the next morning. When you
Right.
come in at regular general admission. So.
That's great.
And as everybody here knows, there are some fantastic layouts on the Illinois side, the Missouri side. You know, a lot of good layouts in this area. Incredible modelers.
And a lot of other open houses as long as you know somebody. So, that's
Yeah.
great to have.
Is Richard going? You're going to Leadville next month, right?
I'm going to Leadville.
Are you going to be gone on the 18th?
Nope, I'm leaving at the end of July.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So
fine
you're
with that.
good. All right, that's all. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, you're good.
You're just
No,
making
no.
I'll
sure
be here to
everybody's
run the
coming.
camera.
Yeah. You'll be here on Saturday night.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Saturday night. Oh, that's when we shoot the show down here.
Yeah, remember.
Oh, I
Hi,
love that. That
welcome
is so
to the
much fun
show.
because we're putting all of the guys up. We're trying to figure out who we're putting on. Oh my God, wait a minute. Oh Lord. This is the RPM meet.
Yeah.
This is where the first 2 days we got to shoot 14
Well, see,
interviews
that's
for the
why,
What's Neat
That's
show.
why you're not doing the show, because we're breaking it to you that you're going to be busy now.
Yes, yes. So, but that Saturday night after, and it's not an official thing. That's not in the paperwork. It's just
No.
something that happens.
Everybody just shows
Just
up
people
here.
talk at the show and, hey, you're going to go watch Ken shoot that show or watch Joshua shoot the show. And it's like, hey, yeah, where's it at? And the next thing you know, we got 75 people in the backyard and all the
Yeah.
cars in the front yard. And, they're flying the drone around and videotaping it. And we got footage of that too.
And you can see all that on the What's Neat This Week show.
So yeah, rock and roll. Yeah, wow, that's going to be a fun week.
Oh, yeah.
And we get all the people from other countries. The gentleman from Bolivia,
Yeah.
Plenty of them.
Yeah.
Australia,
Yeah.
yes.
Germany.
Yep,
Germany,
Mike Nucky
England.
from Chile.
Yes,
and
Chile.
Canada.
We love
yeah,
Mike Nucky.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he said some nice stuff last week in Reader's Comments.
yeah, he's great.
He's awesome.
I think we have maybe a half dozen Canadian exhibitors this year.
That's
Something close to
fantastic.
that.
It's close to
Yeah.
that.
There's a lot of Canadian
All
companies
of our-
now.
All of a
our-
sudden,
yeah.
right?
Yes.
Mini prints.
Yeah.
Bernard
Yeah.
Owen's coming back.
Yeah, that's
He didn't get
fantastic.
scanned last year.
Yeah.
He scanned
Yeah.
this year.
And he'll get booked up quick, so make your appointments with him. You can go to miniprints.com and check him out. See when his hours will be for that.
Yeah, ours are in a bag over there.
Yeah.
I saw that.
You wanna go get
Yeah,
'em?
the large ones.
Go
Yeah.
ahead, go get them. And
So
we'll
we
talk
have the
about the train
smallest.
running tonight too. There is
Yeah,
a train down here.
absolutely.
It probably already went.
It sure did.
Yeah.
Jeff brought his little ones of him. So he
Oh,
bought
yeah,
a bunch
right-
of them.
right
I
there.
did. Brian McQuitty did,
It's
so we traded.
Right under the paint, Austin. All the pretty paint.
Yeah, I ran out.
It's in a
of
black
the
bag.
mini prints that I traded with all the other people that
Did
got
you bring
mini
yours?
prints. I
Yeah,
did.
they're right there. See?
Oh, we don't have a
Standing on-
cameraman now.
No, you sent the cameraman away. So we're going to have 2 layout tours on Thursday, and then 2 more
on
layout
Friday.
on Friday.
Yes.
Right, and they're
How
all
exciting.
4 on the Illinois side this
Well,
year.
that's great.
Yeah, so we try to really space them close together so you don't spend a whole lot of time
Yeah.
driving and wasting
Right,
time.
right.
Yeah.
You get to enjoy somebody's
fantastic.
great layout, right?
And the anticipation to find out that day who it is. That's,
Whose it is.
That's great.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
great.
it's kind of, the surprise bag,
Excellent.
if you will, right?
So let's talk about vendors this year. We have more vendors than ever.
220 tables.
Plus, yeah.
And what did I have here? 80 plus vendors.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I think we had 67 vendors last year, and I think that was a high. Maybe we had 68 one year before that, but still 80, at least 80 different
Yeah.
vendors, and we have a couple of tables left. Is that right?
Just
Lonnie?
singles,
it's-
yeah.
It may be.
Really?
We
It
have-
may be like 83 by the time it's over.
I think we have 9 companies wanting in that we don't have space for, that want 4, 5,
Did
6
Joe
tables.
Fugit get in there?
Yes.
He did.
Oh, good. He'll be happy about
Called
that.
him. Yeah, he has a table, and I think
Never
a
mind,
hotel.
Austin, but they're just right under that paint.
No,
right there.
no, no,
In a black
no.
bag, they're about 6
Thank
inches
you,
tall.
though.
That's all right.
We will need you to zoom in here soon, so don't
Eventually,
don't
yeah,
make
just-
don't make your break too long.
Yeah.
So
Thanks.
what else you everyone need to know about this year's RPM?
Yeah, well, let's stay on the vendors for a minute.
Okay.
I think we're up 15% or more in vendors. There's a mix of the big guys, like Broadway Limited.
Yes, they're coming. So is
Bachman.
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 Yes.
And then those that have always been there, Tangent and some of the others that have fabulous high-end
Absolutely,
trains,
yeah.
larger companies. But we must have added a half dozen 3D
That's
printers,
great. Yeah.
and they all have neat stuff.
And there's a lot of new ones from the last couple of years. I know we met Tom Orlando there last year, and he came here and was on the show.
Yeah,
There's
he's coming
A
back.
gentleman by the name of Pottsburg? The one that
Jimmy?
makes the big
Jimmy,
tall
yeah,
grain
yeah,
elevators.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then there's a steel mill modeler supply.
he's done a fabulous job of growing fast. Incredible stuff that he makes.
He really does.
He's a nice guy. He's,
Yeah.
I met him. He's very intellectual.
Kevin Tully.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Detroit South Huron, that was a new company last year for us, and wow, everybody loved that table.
yeah.
And he sold a lot of stuff, and he was one of the first ones to register this year back on again
Great.
because
Great.
he knew that he wanted to have that same experience he had last year.
Tom's a great guy.
And
so.
everybody loved going by that table. That was one of the most talked about tables.
Oh, yeah.
As far as just what the buzz was in the room. But there's some other new vendors this year. Berkshire Valley Models, which is a local company that we've been trying to reach out to for a couple of years, and we've got him in the door.
How local is he? Do you know what he makes?
He does. He makes a lot of more 1920s and 40s models, which
Okay.
are really horse-drawn wagons and things that are just different.
Interesting. And he's in town here?
And he's in town.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need to see your stuff.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
He'll be one of the interviews at the RPM.
No, it's okay.
And so the one of the other people are scalesigns.com. Lonnie got contacted by this individual, which is
Yeah.
really interesting.
On the website, they have my email and my phone number, so I'm the one that for years have been, I do the vetting. So when someone calls and said, gee, I've heard something about you guys, I'd like to be there. So we talk a while, and then I go to their website and say, what do they do? We don't ever want this to just be thought of as a train show.
It's not.
So we don't want more hobby shops than anything else. We know people love to buy trains. Everybody comes there and they want to buy something.
Absolutely.
But we don't want it to be a train show where you're just buying trains from hobby shops. We want manufacturers of all sizes. And so I vet them. And if it turns out they're really a hobby shop, I call them and say, that's not what we're about.
Right.
We have enough of those. And so, that process goes on. This year, to get the people in that we have, Dave Rader, who does the floor plan, along with the staff of the Gateway, basically we said, why don't we bring all of the historians, the people with the slides and the 8x10 glossies and some of the books, put them all out in the hallway where they can have some quiet and a lot of chairs to sit at. So we moved most of them out there and made it, about a 150-foot long library, basically. That gave us floor space inside to add all these other companies
Sure.
that came in. So we are just, as I said, full. we're just jammed with things to see and do.
Fantastic. That's the historical societies and the pictures and all, those just blow me away how many, prototype pictures you can find to weather your railroads. And I know that's the theme of this year's RPM is weathering, correct?
Yeah.
It's got a theme. The show has a theme this year.
We've been doing.
Oh, the
themes
weathering
for-
shop guys are going to love that.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, yeah.
Oh,
You want me to
yeah.
go there on that
Go
one?
ahead.
So, I probably started last year at this time thinking about what to do for a theme for this year, and thought weathering. We think, okay, we'll do technology, we'll do freight cars, we'll do layouts, we'll do all these things over a decade or two. What will it be this year? So weathering was the thing, but I didn't want to do just weathering. I wanted to talk specifically a deeper dive on weathering for a particular era. So if you're modeling something very new, you're going to have graffiti.
Right.
But if you're modeling the 40s, you're going to have some grime.
Right.
And that's about it. And so I went out looking for people that covered, maybe they did freight cars or locomotives or structures. Maybe they used oils or spray paint or whatever. So we have a good mix of people that do different things to make up the half a dozen or so clinics that focus on that theme of weathering. But what I think is really cool this year is I sweet-talked Butch Eiler from the weathering shop. I think of him as a dear friend. We see each other
Absolutely, yeah.
at different, we go to other RPMs together and stuff. And so I called him and said, Butch, 2 or 3 years earlier, Tangent brought out that 86-foot high cube double door.
Yeah.
And they happened to bring one out in Ann Arbor that covered 4 different roads that owned that Ann Arbor car over a 20-plus year period. So you could get the right out of that, ready to run, brand new in the original paint, and then 3 other models that were probably 7 or 8 years apart that were paint outs or whatever. So Tangent was at Amherst that week, and Butch was going to Amherst. So I said, try to find all 4 of those cars. We'll buy them. Just get each one of those, and then weather it where it's maybe a year old from that time. So the first one was 1978, so it's maybe 1 year of grime on it. And then the others, so it's truly a theme of weathering through the ages, which you came up with that part of the title for me, and Butch is covering it. So he's our keynote speaker. So that night when he presents on Friday night, he'll have all 4 cars, which he's weathered, and he'll tell the story about who owned it at that time and how he did it to make it look like it did, when it ran, and so forth. So I couldn't think of a better way to magnify that theme, So we're pretty happy with what's going on this year for a keynote. We always wanted to make that a unique
When is that
part.
going to occur? What time during the show?
7:15-ish on Friday night till
Friday
about
night.
8.
And
8:30.
where is that going to be?
That will be in the Gateway Center.
Okay.
We take both of the big rooms, the 2 presentation rooms, open them up, and they've got the technology to make that work since they revamped the whole Gateway Center. So that I think is going to be cool.
So much fun.
It is.
I'm
really
this is
excited
like
about
every
that.
year. This is, I really get excited about Christmas, but I get excited about this RPM show.
Christmas in
Yeah.
July.
I don't even have to put up a tree. I just got to trim all the trees outside.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Very cool. So let's talk about modelers.
Okay.
How many tables do you guys have this year for modeling?
We have 100 tables, so you can bring your own models.
Wow.
And this year, we made it a little easier for you to bring your own models.
Yeah.
So my son has done some reconfiguring on the website, and if you go to the Resources tab, and then you go to the Model Forms tab, you can do what we have here, which is a little sheet that you
wanna
put in front of your
zoom in on
model.
one of these
Oh,
here?
you can go on the website and fill out your model
You
sheets.
can
Fill out
print
your
them
in
out
model
ahead of
advance?
time.
right
Oh,
there.
wow. So
in
they're not
advance.
all handwritten.
Right.
No.
I love everyone
Because this
that
is
goes, but I
important.
can
When-
never read your handwriting.
When we're,
This is
when we're
fantastic.
shooting your models, it's good to get your name.
Exactly.
And in the past, sometimes it's been difficult. Good idea.
So it's really easy to do.
Wow.
Thank you.
Very,
And
very
it's just
cool.
it's really
you
easy
got it
for you
all
to print them
figured
out in advance, and it's also very easy because you do it right online,
Okay.
one at a time. Print them out, cut them out, put them in the box with your model,
Yeah.
and they're already
right
ready.
there.
And that way, when you're at the RPM meet, you're not kneeling on the floor or scribbling on a piece
Yeah.
of paper and your pen runs out of ink, right? This is what happens to me every year. So now we've made it a whole lot easier for you to bring more models to the RPM.
And so speaking of models, I see some up here, and these are weathered. You want to talk about those, Jeff?
Sure. As Lonnie picked the theme this year, and brought the masters of weathering in, we have 5 different clinics that are focused on weathering. I'm not a very good weatherer, but what I wanted to point out was just a little weathering makes a huge difference. So I brought 2 C&O 40-foot pulpwood cars there. One of them is completely right out of the box.
Oh, wow, okay.
And then the next one is my poor attempt at least trying to make it look like a real pulpwood load.
Austin, can you get onto the top here? Can you
I think
see
you
the
did a good
difference
job.
on the top?
See it here.
Right
Check
here?
it out.
Yeah.
So how did you get that darkened effect of the weathering?
It's just layers of acrylics, believe it or not.
Really?
It's cheap dollar store acrylics with a brush and an hour sitting down to do it.
Very cool.
So
That came out
it doesn't
great.
take a whole lot of talent. It just takes a little bit of practice. Looking at prototype photos. Where do you get those? At the RPM meeting.
Yeah.
Right?
Research,
or out of
right?
books, or magazines, or the internet.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't matter where you get your prototype photo, but just use one.
Yeah,
right?
photos.
Yeah.
That
Use
one's
one,
really-
and
With the
then
sludge coming
That's
out of it,
cool.
that's very
Yeah.
cool too. Yeah.
To your credit on these first 2, a lot of us have done that Atlas car with those logs on it.
Yep.
But you have a really deep, shadowy looking
Yes.
color between the log
Oh, yeah.
spaces. And then the logs look like they're freshly cut because there's a tint of green in there too.
Yeah.
And you don't always see that unless you see that pine's just been cut.
Yeah.
So that's a beautiful job, whether you want to admit it or not.
Absolutely. I mean,
Very
the
authentic.
black just makes everything else pop. So.
It
really
really
does.
does.
It
really
and
brings out
and
the
that's you know
details.
the guys that are doing the Butch and the rest of these guys that are at the RPM meet and have done these weathering things for years. I learn more from just watching them in 10 minutes
Yes.
Absolutely.
than I can through anything.
So-
because these guys have been doing it for years and years and years. So you just watch them. You can pick it up yourself, and it's really not that hard. Like I said, this is not airbrushed. Those guys are. Some of those guys will teach you how to do that. Some of those guys will teach you how to do oils. Some acrylics. We're just going to have a bunch of people doing a lot of different things to teach you anything you want to know about weathering, right? And I think Scott Thornton has a book.
Yeah, that's when I read that book, I called him and said, I want to do this for a theme.
Yes.
And he has 10 or 12 artists in that book, and we're using 4 of them, if not 5, in these
Wow.
presentations from Canada and throughout the U.S. on any topic you can think of that you would weather. So really excited about that piece of it.
Very much so. Very much so.
I'd like to go back to historical societies for a minute.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we normally have around 18, give or take, and a couple of them dropped out this year because they just didn't get the manpower to volunteer to come to the central U.S., which is kind of sad. But the good news is 2 new ones are coming in, the Baltimore and Ohio and the Katy Railroad.
Oh,
We've
very
never
cool.
had those before.
Wow.
So
I know there's a
they're
ton
coming
of
in.
Katy fans out in this area
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So.
And what I explained to both of them, which they weren't aware of, is all of those societies get together on Friday night. We give them space. So they have a meeting on their own for about 90 minutes, somewhere around 6 o'clock for an hour and a half before the keynote speaker comes on. And they talk about things that any society would want to cover. You know, what I'm doing to solve this problem. We have this challenge. What are you doing? That kind of thing. And so that draws societies in too, just to say, I'm going to meet with my peers
Right.
and kibitz over the common
Absolutely.
challenges we have. So they like it, and we're glad they're there. It makes a meet more prototypical. It's cool.
Yeah,
we like
it's very cool. I
Yeah.
love seeing all those historical societies. I always learn something new every year from them. So, so many videos and books and documents that you can get. Yeah. So, Richard,
What?
you're going to Leadville.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk
Cool.
about that a little bit.
My trip coming up.
Yeah.
I'm leaving the 29th. I actually sweet talked my wife. Love you,
Oh, yeah.
Tina.
Yes.
Hi,
here we
Tina.
go. Hi,
A
Tina.
couple extra days.
Leadville.
Nice.
Yes.
You gonna do the big jackhammer thing?
Jack leg.
Jack
yeah.
leg?
Yes,
and
I'm
we have some
preparing
pictures.
for
drills.
We have
kicking.
pictures
Yeah.
here. from
Now,
last
hold on.
year.
Did I
want to
show those
back.
pictures? Yeah, I
You
did,
showed the
didn't I?
pictures. I
Gotta go
want to
look for
full
them in my
disclosure.
computer.
Last year we didn't have a video of it because I got the ever-living crap kicked out of me by
Right.
Joe and the elevation.
Okay.
Right?
I probably wouldn't have been able to do it, but the mining events chairman, James Booth, he knew I wanted to do it, and he gave me a hand, so I was able to finish the one. This year, I'm actually hoping to do 2. That's why we're leaving it a little earlier. It takes about 3 days to get used to the elevation. I know you and Mike went to Jamestown. Oops.
Georgetown.
Georgetown.
Yeah.
And I believe the elevation's about 8,000 feet there.
Yeah, I think so. Something
Okay,
right around
Leadville's at 10,000. You would not believe the difference between 8,000 and 10,000.
Oh, yeah.
And when I first got to Leadville last year, I swear, I'm a smoker, so it felt like you had lead in your lungs. No pun intended.
A ton of bricks on
Lead. You got me going through withdrawals tonight. You said lead. I don't have a pencil.
So this time around,
I'm keeping them from you tonight.
So this time around, I'm going to be a little bit organized in my trip because last time I wanted to get dirt and take photos. So this time I'm actually like writing out an itinerary of what I want to do. So that way I know I accomplish it.
Just get lots of pictures.
Yeah,
and
lots
of
of
modeling
last
ideas.
Last year I took pictures, but I was so excited because I went back for the first time. I was taking pictures, trees, rocks, anything.
Right.
Sure.
But this time it's going to be a little bit more focused. Like
Good.
there's
Nice.
Orban up at the Ibex.
Are you going to
line.
measure stuff, or do you
Oh,
already
yeah.
have drawings?
Nope, I'm going to be
Are you
actually
going to bring a
physically.
red little laser meter
No,
to
I
help
got
make it easier?
I got a 300-foot
You
tape
want to borrow
measure.
my wheel? Are you driving or flying?
Oh no, I'm driving.
You want
Yeah,
to
it's
borrow
not
my
that
rolling
far.
wheel, walking wheel? I used to
I
use
got
in
a
real estate.
300-foot tape measure I had got from my dad years and years
There
and
you
years
go.
ago. So I'm actually going to go up to this big, ore house. Sounds like whorehouse. Ore house.
Or house.
And actually measure everything, you know, the ore chutes from center to center. So I'm actually going to be measuring some of the buildings that remain up there. And like I said many times before, I'm going to pick and choose which ones. But going up there, it's like, man, I wish I could model all of this.
Yes.
Because it's just so hard to choose.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
you'll have to do a clinic for us sometime.
I wish I could because
You could.
Yeah.
You're
With
very
that,
effective. Besides, you're on that What's Neat show.
yes, I'm that almost not
So-
famous guy.
And
But I can't believe with the sorry to cut you off, Joshua.
No,
I
that's all
cannot believe how popular Leadville has become over the past 30 years.
Oh, it's expensive now.
yeah.
Don't get me started on the price of the houses. I
Yes.
came to a stark realization I'll never ever live up there because it's like the East Coast with the price of the
Right.
houses. But with the advent of the, I guess, the internet, when I went to book my trip to Leadville last year, and every hotel was booked up, I went to my office. I go, what? Are you kidding me? Because when I lived out there 30 years ago, I went up there the day before and got a hotel room like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different. Wow.
But
Crazy.
when I lived up there 30 years ago, if I saw 2 or 3 people the whole weekend, you know, trucking around the mining district, that was a lot. Now, oh my God, literally every 5 minutes, boom, boom, bicyclists, ATVs, hikers. It's become a really popular recreational site.
I want to throw this out here to Lonnie. Lonnie, I talked to you about doing an interview with you. Not that we're not doing one now, but a one-on-one interview with you because you're a financial planner. You're very good at what you do for years. But in your business, you've got a model railroad layout.
That's true.
Just like the gentleman that owns that Port Harbor Railroad over there across the river, he's got a model railroad layout in his office. But you've got an operational layout that we were talking about doing an interview for the What's Neat show.
Love to have you.
That sounds
Bring the crew.
amazing, though. How cool that is to be able to just, if you're on that one business
Oh, look,
call.
look, I got 5 minutes.
And
I can
it's
go
like-
plant the railroad.
Yeah, just go relieve some stress. Go relieve some stress and then go back there and close that deal.
When
Right?
you're in the securities business, there is no stress reliever. It's just stressful.
Yeah.
But the railroad is back there. I bought that building in '96, and by '98 we had something to operate. It wasn't completed, but it's roughly 44 by 52 in terms of the room.
That's big.
It's
Yeah.
HO scale. It's pretty much the 50s and 60s for Eris, so it's not the prototype that we preach all the time. We have about 10 guys, and it's something for everyone. But it's 95% scenic, and runs trains all over the place, DCC.
Has this been in the model press?
We were in RMC in 2014. It was the last issue that Bill Schomburg was doing.
Oh, God love
And
Bill
then-
Schomburg.
And then, so he wrote it in the spring, but it got out in October when that issue came up that was 6 issues in one.
Yes.
So we were in that. And then we've been in the NMRA because there was a St. Louis National a couple years ago, and we had an operating session, so I made the cover of that. So a little bit of press.
That's interesting. Hey, look, there's a train running.
I know, it's a military consist.
Yeah.
I know. They've
that
probably
is
already
neat.
seen it run. Now,
Yeah.
this is not weathered, but there's a whole bunch of nice models on there that are not finished yet.
They are.
Incredible models.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was gawking
Yes.
at that
Some
a
of
while
those
ago.
resin kits that are running past right now.
And now you started
I think
that-
those are called Strikers. They're
Yes.
amazing military vehicles.
How long ago did you start building on this?
It was when that video came out on What's Neat of the military train running through California. It was
Yeah.
drone footage. Oh my God, that was the coolest video. And it made me want to build that.
Yeah.
Is that crazy?
Yeah.
Books. It is books. It's books like this Pensy book here. It's books like the Macmillan books. I think that's what drives the model railroad market. That's what makes people interested in being focused on a specific railroad or something, a paint scheme that they like. It's what got me really going crazy about Santa Fe, with Lenny Applebaum lending me these Santa Fe books and the desert scenery. And then all of a sudden now I got to have alligators and everything that they had, the war bonnets, the Super Chief, because it's the books, I think, that sell the product. I don't know why I just threw that out there. Keep talking about the RPM meet because there's more good stuff.
Okay, learning stations, let me go there. I see that in front of my nose. So, in addition to 21 clinics, all different, we only run a clinic one time. We don't have the capacity, the space to have many rooms with clinics going on. So we run 21 different ones over 2 days. And to add to that learning experience, years ago we came up with this thing called a learning station. So Brian McQuitty made these 10 or 12 foot tall banners. We have 6 of those normally on the floor of the main part for 2 days, and whoever's at one of those is teaching you something. Brian Post has historically talked about JMRI,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
we have got some guys talking about Decoder Buddy this year, and some other technology sort of things. Of course, the weathering shop will be there. They'll have 3 tables at their normal learning
Fantastic,
station.
yeah.
So we run the gamut of having some that deal with the theme and some that deal with whatever we all like to talk about.
Nice.
So we were pressing that we have this theme, but really it's about half of the clinics or less. The rest of it is all those things we want to see at any RPM.
Sure.
So, but these learning stations, sometimes they'll sit there all day long for 2 days and just take on anybody that comes up and plops down in a chair. Sometimes they have hours, but it's everything you can imagine to talk about.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
neat,
a
the
piece of it.
interaction there.
Now, your website's got all this stuff on it, right?
It does.
Okay.
We have a description that shows all the clinics.
Okay.
This year you can twiddle down underneath the clinic title, and there'll be 4 to 6 sentences there that explains what that clinic's going to be about. And then on the learning stations, the same thing. We have a tab that tells all 6 learning stations and what they're going to be able to show, whether it's new products or just processes. So it's all explained there on the website, STL. STLRPM.com.
Yes.
Hold on. Let's put it on the bottom of the screen.
STLRPM.com.
Okay, now let's show them the website. Oh, look, there's the website right in front of us.
Ooh, that's
Yeah,
a nice
yeah,
website,
yeah.
I actually
by
don't
the
see
way.
it. Is it really nice?
Oh, it is. You'll like it.
Okay,
nice.
that's
You're gonna
nice.
love
All
it.
right, they just saw the website.
Yep, and this
You're-
is the
you're in charge,
17th
right.
annual, huh?
Yes.
This is the 17th
Wow,
annual.
that's great.
There are a few years that we skipped. Of course, we skipped the COVID year, and then like 2006 or 2007, there wasn't one. So there's been a few years that
Yeah.
we've skipped in between, but
Yeah.
lately
Almost
it's
every
been
year.
annual outside of the COVID year,
That's-
2020.
Yeah,
right?
almost
So-
every year since
Yeah.
2004.
It's always like a family reunion for us, so we get
Yeah.
to see all of our friends and
And make
it
new ones.
So much is. Oh my
Yeah.
God, look at that smile.
I
I
know.
love that. Oh my God, the wonderful people. The original, God, let's go back years and years. In 2012, I started doing the What's Neat show for Model Railroad Hobbyist magazine. And that was the first year that I really started going video camera crazy with the RPM stuff. And that's when we had the likes of all those gentlemen in the weathering shop. And we did little 3-minute videos on each one of them and their talents, Butch Eiler, and just go through, oh God, so many amazing names. And we've got so much footage of the show over those years where we've seen that show grow so
Yeah,
much.
absolutely.
It really
But
has
it
grown.
was the RPM meet that really allowed us doing this show, because now I'm not a modeler doing articles and doing ads. Now I've got to be more interactive because this show is interactive, right? It's an interactive
Absolutely.
vehicle. And so I got to meet these people and get to know them in the backyard as they shoot their photos, and we did their interviews. And that show is rich with people like that. Some of the you go to that show and it's the names of the people that we've read about in the books for years.
Absolutely.
That is true.
It's awesome.
And I
very
mean,
generous
look
with
at
their
all
time.
the new faces. We see a lot of younger people coming in now.
Oh, yeah.
I
We really
mean,
do.
It's not the hobby is not dying at all. It's just evolving into something brand new, and it's just exciting, you know.
It's I think a nice mix of the crowd that likes to make resin cars, plenty of those manufacturers and kits and talent. If we have north of 4,000 models on display shooting for 5,000, there's a lot of kits there from back in the day, but there's an incredible amount of 3D printing going on.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't want to say it's a young person's game, but a lot of young people are getting the printers and going at it.
For sure.
It is.
As the
very neat.
computer technology evolves, I know that I fall short on a lot of it as it, you know, comes through. So, I mean, the new generation, the younger generation, you know, my 3-year-old nephew can zip up all kinds of stuff and I don't even know what he's doing, but then my phone works better. So, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, it's just amazing how the youth in the hobby is adapting itself.
It is.
You mentioned, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You mentioned that you've shot all this video over the years. We now have all of those on the website. So the website's been created by Jeff and more so by his son Eric. We think we have a great website, a lot to play with there and there, a lot. It's entertaining. So all of his videos that he shot of the event over the years, and
Yes.
we recently put on all of the pictures of the models since way back when.
wow.
So now you can go on and say what year. Well, I think I'll look at 2004 or 2012 or whatever, and there's thousands of pictures of these models that you just blow up and
amazing.
get right in your face and study it. That's how I see the models. We don't have a minute to breathe those 2 days that we're there. But afterwards, when they get on the website, we're going to look at models.
I was
for
actually
hours.
kind of stunned the other day. I was paging through them myself to look at all the beautiful models on there.
Are you
and
talking about the,
all of a sudden, I noticed this caboose in 2004 that was actually mine. So I must have been there. I did not remember being there in 2004.
You know what else is
I
neat about
didn't know
those
when
videos?
I didn't know when I started going to the RPM, right? I just didn't. I didn't remember it. But there it was.
All those little
So-
mini me's that we got of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I've seen since 2012 is now is it's like freight car weathering. We've gone from dark to this kind of this gray. There's
Yes.
a lot of grayness going on here. In the last, God, how many years has that been? That's been 12 years, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
That's great.
So, okay. Wow.
So is there anything else that you feel like we need to discuss or touch on here for the RPM?
I think we're pretty good. I just, again, go to the website. It has so much information. I can't say enough of that.
Yes.
And come, be there.
Come
Yeah.
hang out with us. It'll be
Absolutely.
fun. Now, I'm going to be doing a lot of interviews, so usually I get tunnel vision and just run through the show.
He does.
I
He
do.
doesn't even know I'm there half the time, and I'm right next to him.
I got my
half the
little
time.
list. I got my pencil, and there's Daniel. We're just trying to get this, yeah.
You have a lot to do in the time you're there.
There, yeah, it's a
I
lot.
learned a phrase last night, and I don't know where my microphone went, but it's okay. I don't need one.
You took it off. Okay.
I learned something last night I heard on TV. I got to say it. And it applies to modeling. There are the 7 P's. Prior proper practice, right, prevents piss poor performance. The 7 P's.
That's yeah. That's
And
very
that's not
true.
my quote. I actually heard that on TV last night, but I had to write that down.
It's kind of like practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect.
That's very true.
True that. Everything you need, everything we build in this hobby, it seems like it's so easy because you build it first in your head. And then once you've done that, when it comes time to actually do it, it's like just woo-hoo, easy.
Yeah.
That's been my experience. Same?
That's true. You got to visualize it.
That's right.
Like Walt Disney said, you have to dream it first. You know.
Holly, I dream it every night, and if I can put it to fruition, then We're all rock and roll.
Wow. Yeah. So, okay,
Yeah.
Captain.
And
it feels really weird sitting over here.
Rock and roll, 278.
278, yep.
You need to check out the What's Need show on Model Railroad Hobbyist magazine. He'll have it out eventually, or maybe James will do it. Who knows?
Yeah, the one just came out on today's the 15th.
Yeah.
So
well, you had to have
part 2 of George's Making Roads is coming out today.
Absolutely.
Probably. Well, yeah. When you see this video, it'll be
Possibly.
Monday.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the other video for July, I've got some good material in that. The drummer did an interview. George did something. I've got a great Bachman interview. I just haven't put all the pieces together because I thought I would do a how-to in there too.
Perfect.
And I haven't. And so I'll just get that done and work on August. And then I think the October What's Neat video will be the RPM meet because that's how it times out.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right.
So yeah, it'll be a great show. I hope everybody comes. It's going to be fun. And we will be recording a show here Saturday night with a lot of the manufacturers. And generally a lot of modelers talk to each other and they end up in the backyard. And that's all good with me.
And I can't wait for the layout tours.
The layout
Those are
tours,
gonna be great,
on Friday,
too,
which
so-
you can't find about until you get to the
Early
restaurant.
entry models.
Right.
Can I say something about modelers and modeling?
Yes.
Okay, Early Entry Modelers. It's a program we started 3 or 4 years ago and made it really easy a year or two ago when you came up with those green tags that people use. So we will put out an email to maybe 100 of the well-known modelers around the country and say, go to a website, see that we open the back door, the dock, for people with 25 models or more, or that they have a diorama or something at 7:30 in the morning. We give you a tag to get in, and then before we open at 9, go up and pay your registration.
And I've
that
done
gives
that.
these people a chance to come in and set up all their beautiful models before the crowd walks
It
in
makes
the door.
it so much easier.
Yeah.
You can mingle a little bit afterwards with other modelers. It's
yeah.
fantastic.
And there's
so.
a tab on that too.
There is.
Great.
And there's so much on the website. Just go look at it, peruse it. You'll find something in there for everybody, right? Whether it's Ken's videos or the pictures of previous meets. Again, the information, there's also a flyer on there that you can download to put up in your local hobby shop about
Nice.
the RPM. So there's lots on there to visit and see.
Check it out, stlrpm.com. Correct?
Who's running this train tonight?
Alex, right? Alex,
Alex?
what's your last name?
Alec Failing.
Alec Failing.
Here, come step in front of the
Yeah.
camera. Show us
Yeah.
the engineer,
Come
Alex.
give
Now
us
wait
a
a minute,
wave.
this is the youth in the hobby.
Yeah,
That's
no
right. That's
kidding.
right.
Wait a minute, are you legal? Do I need to get your mom's permission to have you on the show?
Yeah,
Here's the youth in the hobby right here.
Absolutely.
He's 40 years from gray hair.
I know. And he's been
Oh,
down
yeah.
here. He's been running this train all day. So ever since I got here. So
All right.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty fun to run the trains.
Okay.
all right.
All right.
Well, with that being said, 278 is just about at a close. Watch us on YouTube, like us, hit the little bell to get notifications.
Yeah, subscribe too.
Yep, check
We're
it.
up to, let's break 17,000 this month.
Yeah. Let's check out what'sneat.com where you can dissect all of our shows and find out which ones I've been on, which ones you've been on.
What'sneat.com, yes.
That's right, what'sneat.com. stlrpm.com, jelsmagraphics.com.
Yes. Thank you, Denny.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? Can we go around some trains now? All right.
Good idea.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
I want to run a train. Yay.
All right. We need a thumbnail.
Yes, we do. But you're in charge. I'm watching.
All right. Everybody, look at the camera. Smile.
We got
wave.
free models last week. Wasn't that cool?
It was.
Hold on, I'm not there yet. I'm there. Ready, set, everybody, like he said, let's do 1, 2, 3.
All right. What a great show.
Wow, we just announced a Broadway Limited engine I didn't know we were going to announce.
Yeah.
This is good. This is very good. That's a beautiful model.
Isn't it? Yeah. I
That
can't wait
picture
to
on the
see
internet
it.
is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I hope they have. I don't know what they made of.
They're
those
just
models
hitting
yet.
home run after
That's fine,
home
just
run.
let one
Hope they
run
have
for a
it
few
in St.
minutes.
Louis this there next week,
Thanks.
next month.
Yeah.
I'd like to see
You can
that.
move around if you want. Just do whatever you want. Just go crazy on me. Yeah, if you want to, roll some B-roll of it.
Yeah, that sounds
Just go let the camera fly around.
Yeah.
Just go ahead, move it
Yeah,
around.
move it.
Just
Look
do
at
us, yeah. Just have some fun. NBC, Saturday night, we're live,
That's right.
whatever. That's what they use with jib cranes for.
Is this
That's
their
very
behind
true.
the scenes?
Kinda, yeah.
Kind of.
Oh my God, it was so nice to not have to think tonight.
I know.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And there's an
You
actual
did a wonderful
delivery.
job.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Although I did kind of jump in there a few times, didn't I?
You did.
I couldn't help it.
I let you.
Yes, you
It's
did.
okay.
I don't have a pencil, okay? This is
I know.
really...
Do you have any 3-in-1
Almost
ones?
loaned you an ink pen so
Three
you
in
could
one
tap it or
Yeah, I need it
something.
for my tongue.
Yeah.
When I got tired on our own website.
That's no big deal.